Alright guys, so today I'm going to talk about why the GPL is the best license in comparison to the BSD license, the MIT license, and the proprietary license. So first off, let me explain what the GPL is. The GPL is the shortening of the GNU General Public License, also known as the GNU GPL. The GPL doesn't refer to a single license, but rather a series of licenses. It was written by Richard Matthew Stallman in order to give end users the freedom to run, study, share, and modify software that is licensed by the GPL. It has 3 revisions and comes in 2 flavors, GPL and LGPL. The L meaning lesser as in the GNU Lesser General Public License. The GPL dictates that any software written under it must abide by those 4 freedoms mentioned earlier in its entirety, while the LGPL allows proprietary components to be packaged with the software, with a compromise being that any free components must have the source code released to the same standard, save for obviously the proprietary component. The LGPL was written as a halfway point between the GPL and licenses such as BSD and MIT. Now that we know what the GPL is, let's talk about the MIT license and the BSD licenses, as well as why they are inferior to the GPL. The BSD licenses, as indicated, are not a single license, but rather a class of license, while the MIT license is indeed a single license. They follow the spirit of free and open source software to a degree, but fall short in being too permissive in how their source code is able to be used. The difference between the GPL and these licenses is that the GPL requires that any redistribution of free software be source available and able to be redistributed under the same license, with the LGPL being a bit more permissive in that proprietary components may be included. However, the BSD licenses and the MIT license do not require this and allow software written under this to be used as pleased. Now this sounds like a good thing, but let me explain why this is not a good thing. Imagine 2 pieces of software that are used to perform the same function. Let's take a file manager for example. One file manager is licensed under the GPL, the other is licensed under the MIT license. Say that someone wants to fork the GPL one, they write some code to it, and they decide to redistribute their fork, but as licensed under the GPL, they must make the source code available and free to fork even if they charge for a binary. Users of that software are free to do as they wish with this source code, and users can continue to fork or commit to this software which will improve it. And now let's say that it's done under the MIT license. The source code is still available and free to fork, but the source code of the fork does not have to be redistributed under the same license, which can be used to exploit the work of the author of said software. Let me introduce these scenarios for you to understand a bit easier. With the MIT license, the source is available and free to fork, but let's say a company gets a hold of it and rather than pay the dev to work on the project, they get their own devs to work on the software and decide to release it for the public to buy. The software has minimal patches, but since it was modified, it is their own software made mostly off of the work of a developer who will ultimately see no fruits to his labor. This helps no one but the company, not even the users, as they could have installed the MIT license original that likely would have worked just fine. Now with the GPL license, say this software gets popular enough and the company decides they want to make sure the software keeps getting features, bug fixes, and updates, they are likely to pay that software dev to work on it because they can't make it proprietary due to the license. Due to the open nature of the software, anybody can help develop the software either through the original project or through their own fork, which allows for improvement to aggregate and make the software the best it can be. This allows it to gain more traction, which can be used to help write even better software, all situations which result in a net positive for everyone. Simply put, the GPL is better because it guarantees that you don't become the bastard in a situation where someone else decides to use your software. It gives the end users freedom to do as they wish with the software, while making sure that they don't leave you in the dust if they decide to try and profit off of it. The other licenses do. It's like the difference between Libre and gratis. The GPL is Libre while the others are gratis. They are free as in price, not just speech, while the GPL is the other way around. Free as in speech, not price, without the just. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to work for free, it's going to be freedom, not free work, which defeats the purpose of free software. A lot of people use a specific word to describe what these licenses feel like, and that's exactly what they are like. Why are you going to distribute your software in a manner that allows the exploitation of your work? Don't work for free, guys. Work for freedom.